We push through pain and find a way. No matter what the people say at the end of the day.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lieutenant Carroll. At the end of the day, I'm your host. Today we got a special guest for you for this episode. It's going to be Mr. Ace, the Visionary. And we're going to jump right into it as soon as we get back. Hey guys, we're back. Mr. Ace, the Visionary. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. How you doing,
Pretty
Lieutenant?
good, pretty good. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
You too.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you from? Grew up.
So I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I grew up here in Georgia, actually. I moved here when I was 4 years old. So I'm kind of a bit of both, a little bit New Orleans, but I was raised a Georgia boy.
Okay. Yeah. So, what was your influences?
As far as fashion goes,
Mm-hmm.
early on, it was pretty much Pharrell Williams, Andre 3000, CeeLo Green, probably some of my biggest influences growing up. Like, they were real fashionable, always had their own type of charismatic attitude about things, and didn't really care about rules of fashion. You know what I'm saying? They kind of made their own way, so that kind of influenced me a lot growing up.
So, was that your environment growing up? Like fashion, or what type of environment were you in?
Actually, no. I had growing up, it was real weird because I was a bit of a nerd, but I was an art nerd, right? So I was always artistic. So you could always find me with my head in a sketchbook in middle of class, sketching on my notebook paper, stuff like that. And but after school, I always took part in a lot of extracurricular activities. So I was multiple sports teams. I played soccer. I ran track. I was on a swim team. It's kind of weird because all them things don't really go together. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but I had kind of like a knack for trying something and getting good at it really, really early on. Like, it didn't really take me much to get the hang of something. So that's kind of where I was at growing up.
Got you. So, me just meeting you, I see we have one thing in common. We both served our country.
Yes, sir.
So, thank you for your service.
I appreciate your service.
So, can you tell me a little bit about which branch of service were you in?
So I am a United States Marine. So
I'm not gonna hold that against you because I'm Army.
You know what? We the few the proud, but I'm not gonna hold that against you.
Absolutely.
But I actually I ran with a couple Army boys, and y'all always good people. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
Always good people. I got some other words for some sailors, but
Right.
we'll say that for another conversation.
Okay. Yeah. So, how long were you in the Marines?
I did 6 years. I did 3 years active, 3 years reserves.
Okay.
Yeah, served right up here at Dobbins in Atlanta.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what was your MOS?
So I was 6541 aviation ordnanceman. So pretty much aircraft weapon systems technician.
Okay, you kind of a badass there.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you dealing with warheads, 500-pound bombs, a lot of
Right,
ammunition. Right. I worked on AH-1 Super Cobras, like our attack helicopter.
Very familiar.
Kind of like y'all Apache.
Apaches. Mm-hmm.
Yes. very, very similar to y'all Apache, and then of course the F-18s, and we also when I was in, we had Hueys.
Yep.
Hueys were decommissioned after I got out. But yeah, we had Hueys, all of that, put all the weapon systems on them, all that stuff.
And that is awesome because I was a 14 Sierra, was an Avenger crew member. I was a man-pass crew member, which we operate the Stinger system.
Oh, wow.
So we had some of those similar in the Marines. So it was air defense.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
So we ride around. We neighbors.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah,
with MOSs.
We probably, I had tour in Korea, Germany, and I know when we went to Korea, we did this big multi-task operation. We worked with the Marines, some of the Navy. And they called it Team Spirit back in the day.
It had to be interesting.
Yeah. Yes, it was very interesting. So I did have my experiences overseas, but it's always a pleasure to meet someone that served our country. We do understand, the system. We don't all agree with the system, but serving your country gives you a different look and experience. I think every young man should serve at some point just so you can get that experience. But moving right along, what caused you to, move towards the fashion world, here in Atlanta?
So early on in my life, I say as early as it was probably about 11th grade, I had a science teacher that gave our class an assignment. And the assignment was to take an ordinary item around your house and find another use for it. It was a recycling assignment, right?
Right.
And so my very first thought was, we got this bubble wrap at the house, right? So my mom had this yarn. She used to knit. No, it was my sister who used to knit. Sister had this yarn laying around the house. I was like, I think I'm going to put this bubble wrap together and make an outfit with it. So what I did was I made like a little makeshift needle, and I sewed a vest out of bubble wrap, and I made a little visor too.
Wow.
And so I got 100% for the assignment, right? The vest was so good and the hat was so good, I had my partners asking me to wear it because I was wearing it around the school. They was like, bro, let me wear the bubble vest. Because it was a literal like pop bubble vest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's actually popping.
You're right.
Yeah.
And so that was my introduction to fashion. That right there. It was probably about 11th grade.
I wouldn't say that was a nerd score though.
That was
an accomplishment.
But hey, I don't know why I just always consider myself a nerd. I just I never look at it as a bad thing, but I definitely always look at myself as being different than others, just as far as the way I thought and things of that nature.
Well, I always refer to my brothers that are accomplished as kings. You're a king, so a lot of kings, they stand out. And as a king, you have expectations, and a lot of people, they downplay themselves. So when I first meet a person, it's out of respect, especially a young black male, a brother. I will greet you as how you doing, king. So that accomplishment that you did right there, it was above normal, above average. So I would say definitely that was a really good thing to embrace it. To embrace it and keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. So who or what influenced your style early on?
Like I said, it was basically it stemmed from the South and kind of went west. So I had a lot of influences from Andre 3000, a lot of influences from Pharrell Williams, CeeLo Green, Big Gip from Goody Mob. They always kind of had they own style of doing things. Got some influences from the North as well with Wu-Tang Clan, like just things I would see on TV, stuff like that. And I'll say this: I've always been a sci-fi buff. So I love sci-fi movies. So my favorite movie in the world is The Fifth Element. And I found this out pretty early on that the whole cast was styled by a fashion designer. His name John Paul Gaultier, and he designed the whole from Chris Tucker, the girl Lilu, Corbin Dallas, all the cast. Everybody had on John Paul Gaultier. Even the flight attendants in the movie. This fashion designer designed everybody's outfits, and that was like, it was so inspiring that it could take you to these levels, you know what I'm saying? And it just I love sci-fi movies.
So let me ask you this: when was it when you said, or not when you said, but when was it when you discovered, boom, I made it. I'm on the next level. I am a designer. This, you know what I'm saying? When did you? It just hit you, your biggest achievement.
My biggest achievement, I kind of have a mixed. So, I joined this industry around 2017. I had recently gotten out of the military. And I was, at the time, worked for Department of Homeland Security, right? Didn't want to work for the government. We're not even going to talk about it, but I just didn't.
But you ended up working for the government, but you didn't want to.
Well, I was trying to find my escape plan.
I got you.
Right? So, like I said, I've always been into art, right? Always loved fashion, but I didn't have a foot in any type of door in the fashion world. But I met a couple of photographers, right? One thing about me is I've always had a lot of female friends, right? I don't know why. We just always hang around each other, right? And I will always help them pick out outfits. And so from that point, it kind of stepped into being a designer, right? And I met these photographers. They asked me to come to the studio, design a couple of pieces or whatever. That stemmed to me networking with other people in the industry. And I met this lady. Her name is Mary Chapman. She is the editor-in-chief of a international bridal magazine for women of color. And she really catapulted me into this industry because I met her and we were sitting next to each other at a fashion show.
Right.
This is a bridal fashion show. Don't know nothing about bridal, nothing. I just got invited, and I end up sitting next to this lady. And we're talking and everything, and I told her I do fashion styling. And she was like, well, have you ever curated a show? And I was like, well, what do you mean? She was like, well, have you ever helped any type of fashion house do a runway show? And I said, no, I haven't. But, I mean, it'd be something I'd be interested in. She said, well, I want you to curate my show. And I said, I'm new to this, right? And she was like, well, you never know what you can do until you try it, right? And she put her faith in me to help her with her fashion show. As me being a baby in the industry, her being a veteran in the industry, she just saw something in me that I didn't see at the time and gave me the chance, and it ended up being an amazing show. So I say that would probably be the biggest hurdle or achievement that I've gotten that made me realize, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And it was that moment.
Well, congratulations.
I appreciate
So moving forward, the birth of Saber Brand. Can you explain that? How did you come up with the concept? It's the first time I ever heard of it, but it seems to be it's a big part of you in your life. So what's
Absolutely. So the birth of Saber actually came with, you know how they say birth comes after something passes away, right? So I had another brand before Saber. I'm not even going to mention the name, but I had a business partner, right? And it kind of was like a one-sided relationship with that business partner where I kind of did all the work and they kind of wanted the credit as much as I had, and I kind of ended up dissolving the business and did away with that. So I was like, well, I need a new brand because I'm not stopping this. And so I just started thinking to myself, well, what am I all about? You know what I'm saying? What do I want? What I want to be a representation of myself as far as a brand. And Saber is an acronym. A lot of people don't know that, but I always spell it in all caps, SABER, all caps. But it stands for Supreme Abundance Beyond Existing Reality.
I like that. Yes.
So what that means, it means a lot of things to different people, but to me, it means no matter what your present circumstance, you can always be abundant. It's just whatever's inside of you, right? So that right there is pretty much why our brand promotes pretty much, and abundance means a lot of things to different people, but to me, it means pretty much having confidence, the utmost confidence in yourself, no matter what your circumstance, no matter what you're going through, always be confident. And with that confidence, you'll always be abundant. And I try to give that in my garments. So when somebody wears something I've made, they feel like they the biggest person in the room. They you know what I'm saying, they got it on. You know what I'm saying? And they can always feel confident in their skin when they're wearing a piece that I made. So that's kind of like the foundation of it. But the just pretty much the style of the brand deals with a couple different elements. I've dressed a couple of stars, like rap stars and singers, stuff like that, and a bunch of models. And it's just, and actually Mary, the my mentor that I was telling you about, I actually dressed her a few times for her. It was another magazine was publishing her, so she wanted me to style her for the shoot, things like that. So it's just kind of I don't know. It's kind of all came full circle for me with that.
That's awesome. From apprentice,
right. Really, just learning the ropes to having my own brand and really diving into it, and it. I don't know. I just love every minute of it. I don't feel like I'm at work when I'm working on my brand.
So what separates your brand right now from the others?
The main thing is my design elements. So I don't use a lot of traditional mediums for clothing. So I do use fabric, but I also 3D print things. I'll use I'll upcycle scrap materials I might find around the house. I did a charity fashion show last summer where I took a sack. You know, the sack that you have your lemons in, it's like a produce sack, the little yellow sack. Mm-hmm. I took that and I made a top with it with like yellow ribbons. And it was like they loved it so much that they auctioned it off at the charity fashion show. It's just one of the different mediums I tend to use. But I've used ski gloves. I've used all types of different tools to make garments.
So in kind of like in an odd way, your creativity, this is gonna sound a little crazy, where someone would be like, I'm not wearing that. Oh, I'm wearing that. So you have the ability to create where it could change people's visions and views of your stuff, of your product.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, it's all about presentation. It's all about when you put love into something and people can see it. All my pieces take hours, sometimes multiple days to create. That lemon top probably took about 7 to 12 hours to cure, because it was a resin that made it hard and to solidify. So if you was to come up to somebody and be like, hey, put this lemon sack on, they're probably like, no, just like you said. But then they see my version of it and it's like, I got to have that, right? And it's I don't know, it kind of gives you a little peace of mind. Like I really did something with my hands that people can appreciate.
Well, yeah, and definitely appreciate that. But can you tell the audience or give some advice to any upcoming inspiring designers that would like to do what you're doing?
Absolutely. So one thing I would always say is that never trust other people's opinions more than your own. So if you have an idea or anything that you want to do in life, period, just go for it and do it like your life depends on it. When you do that and put that much effort into it, people around you notice it and they gravitate towards it. If you go at something half-baked, or you know what I'm saying? If you go at something without your 110%, then people can also see that. But when you give it your all, you have devotion and conviction in what you're doing, it resonates at a higher level. And people really, really do appreciate that. Just be as genuine as you possibly can and go for what you know. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody's opinions about you or what you're doing stop you. Just go for what you know, do what you feel, and if you love it, go for it with everything in you.
Thank you, sir. And I like to capitalize on that as well. At the end of the day, this young man right here, he didn't let nothing stop him. He kept pushing. He put 100% into what he believed in. And I feel the same way. When I was in the military, I had challenges. I was backed against the wall, and nobody could help me out but me. Continue to believe in yourself. And I say that to ask you this. There were challenges in your life. What was your biggest challenges, and how did you work through them?
Biggest challenges. I've had a lot of setbacks. A lot of things people don't even know about because I just don't advertise it, but I've been to a point in my life where I didn't know which move I wanted to make next. I've been in toxic relationships, and they've driven me to the point of homelessness, where I was living in my car because I didn't want to go to the house. It been that bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's real bad.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with a lot of different turmoil, just mental things, a lot of internal stuff that I just don't broadcast, but because I'm really an introvert at heart. I really don't tell a lot of my business, and I like to bottle things up, but I've learned recently that it's not good to do that. So, but that a lot of the challenges I've dealt with was all internal, but just realizing that you can rise above all of that. And I just go back to my the name of my brand is Supreme Abundance Beyond Existing Reality. Beyond that existing reality, whatever you're going through at this very moment doesn't define who you are in the future or who you believe yourself to be. So I always go back to that, and I rise above any obstacle because I don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I give myself no choice but to rise above any obstacle.
Did you learn a lot from in the beginning from the business side of it?
Actually,
The good, the bad, the ugly.
so
Yeah.
like I was talking to you earlier about my old business partner. I learned that whenever you go into business with people, make sure you know them and you know the business yourself, because all business ain't good business.
That's right.
And just because somebody may be backing you financially or may help you out in certain ways, it might not always be good for you or your business. So just make sure you know who you're going into business with. And if you're going into business alone, make sure you research, Google, ChatGPT, whatever you need to use, It's so many tools out here that can help you get to that next level. Utilize each and every one of them.
That's outstanding. So what can you tell us a little bit about your future vision, in order to, kind of like shape your legacy?
Absolutely. So I see myself Vogue magazine, Met Gala, making wardrobe for super mega stars, and possibly even doing what I was talking about with John Paul Gaultier. I might do a whole cast of a movie that ended up being a blockbuster hit or something like that. Those are my goals and visions. Like I see myself just styling until I can't style no more, and making clothes until I can't make them no more, and just coming into that abundance and owning it. That's my biggest thing right there.
Right. But what about your legacy? Is there anything you're creating where that it's going to be here long after you're gone?
So I have a couple designs. I can't really speak on them now.
Okay.
But it's nothing that's out in the market, and it's kind of transcendent of what people know fashion to be presently. So, let's just say I have some ideas that will set myself up, set my family up, and change the name of fashion going forward. Y'all just wait on it.
All right. Well, we're going to take a pause and talk a little bit more with Mr. Ace, the visionary, and we'll be right back.
You are watching At the End of the Day. Subscribe.
They were said it was suicide, but we not sure, right?
Okay. It's questionable.
But what ended up happening was I got home from work. This when I was working at Federal.
This is your
Building.
sister?
This is my ex. Ex's sister.
Yeah, ex's sister.
Yeah, but I had to deal with it.
Okay.
So
I got you. So you got
to the point where I literally did not know that CSI don't clean crime scenes.
No, they don't.
And so they leave that on the family.
Oh, yes, they do.
Or friends. And I was one of them people.
Yeah.
And it was a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
But that's true. It's something I had to deal with. And I was like, wow, this is new to me. Right. And I think if I wasn't in the right headspace, I think it would have probably been detrimental. But it's just something I had to deal with.
So this was when you were working in the penitentiary?
I was working in the federal building. So
you were working in the federal building.
Homeland Security, we secured all the federal facilities around Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we did Department of Homeland Security headquarters. We did Food and Drug Administration, CDC, FEMA. Pretty much any federal agency we guarded.
So my lead to that is going to be, going into a little bit of your personal life and ask you to explain to me if you want to talk about the traumatic experience, with Ace, some of the things that traumatized you and how did you work through it, stuff like that.
We can do that.
I know where to go. I just got to have the green light to go there.
We can go there.
So we'll elaborate on some more on that.
Okay.
And
all you have to do is formulate the question now because he just answered it.
I think he got it though.
I just
Suppose the question will be cut.
Yeah.
To the previous answer he just did.
Yeah.
So go ahead and formulate the question now.
So when you work for the government, I understand with Homeland Security. So were there any traumatic experiences that you had, and tell the audience about how did you work through it?
Yeah, sure. So I've dealt with quite a few different things dealing with working for the government. Everything from protests to just immigration stuff to all types of different activities dealing with the federal government. But a real traumatic personal experience I dealt with was one day I got home from work, right? And I was working an overnight shift. It was a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., right? So I got home about 7 in the morning. And my homeboys was at my house. And now that's very odd for my homeboys to be at my house at 7 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, I stayed in a high-rise building downtown, and they were in the lobby. And I said, "What y'all doing here?" And they said, "Man, we need to talk." And I said, well, what's going on? I said, "Let's go on upstairs." And so we went upstairs, and in that elevator, they told me that my girlfriend at the time, her sister had passed away. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's very sad. Like, where's she at? How do y'all know? And they said, well, you don't understand. She committed suicide with her baby in her arm, right? So her baby was sitting in her lap, and she did what she did, and it was a shaky case because we really didn't know what the truth was, right? She was dealing with a guy, and the guy was kind of abusive, and he was having babies outside the marriage. He was doing all types of stuff, right? And so we got upstairs. They was like, well, just change your clothes. We got to go to the police station. And so this was up in Gwinnett where it happened. So changed my clothes. We rushed up there. As soon as we got there, I walk in there and I see my ex-girlfriend. She's boo-hoo crying, tears. She can't even really talk because she was right there sleeping downstairs when it happened. And so the officer's talking to me, and he's like, well, before we get into what happened, let's just say her sister ended up passing away, but we need a favor out of you and your friends. And I'm like, well, what's going on? They was like, well, since you're close to the family, CSI, they don't clean crime scenes. Their job is to investigate what happened and try to find out the solution. But we need somebody to go clean that crime scene so that the family can go back to the house and, you know what I'm saying, this, and that. And I'm like, this just kind of, I'm already dealing with the fact that this just happened.
Right.
And now they threw on top of it, we need you to clean the crime scene. And so this is something I haven't dealt with. Even in the military, I've dealt with wounds and stuff, but I've never dealt with a crime scene, right? Especially something of this caliber. And so we get to the house because we did it. And it was just, let's say, them crime shows don't do it justice. Because when you see this firsthand, it is a very, very traumatizing encounter, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't wish this on nobody. But yeah, it was. I don't even want to say it was stuff on the carpet. It was stuff on the walls. TV was busted, and just to think about all this while a baby is in her lap was just. I'm thinking about all of this as I'm scrubbing the walls, as I'm cleaning the floors, as I'm taking the mattress downstairs, and like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a very, very traumatic experience. And just, I guess how I got through it was just knowing that there's a higher power at play. And they're putting me in this position to help others for a reason, right? And I always go to that because if I wasn't here to do this, the family themselves will have to do this, right? Mm-hmm. And that could be an even more traumatic experience for them than it would be for me, because this is my ex-girlfriend's sister. So she's not directly related to me. I knew her, but it wasn't like I was raised with her, like I grew up with her, right? And just imagine my sibling, like, or something like that, that would be detrimental to me, right? So it was just something that you just got to realize it's a higher power at play. You got to kind of deal with it as it comes, but them putting you in place to do this for others is kind of like what kind of kept me standing strong, right, in that moment, and got through it that way. Just realizing that it was helping others.
So I could only imagine, because I'm a first responder, and I've been doing it for almost 30 years, dealing with crime scenes like that, infants that have been murdered. And if you got a piece of a heart, that's going to affect you. So I can only imagine that picture is probably tattooed in your head forever. And from what you're telling me, it took the Most High to get you through it. And you were chosen to do that. And again, you are appreciated to have the heart to do it. Because I've seen many people like, man, I'm not doing that. Walk out. I can't do that. So how did you feel once upon completion of that? How did you get through that?
Remember the question. Here we go. Quiet mode.
I forgot the question.
Oh, how did you get through it?
Okay.
Yeah. You can see the door. I can't. What the hell just happened?
Nah, I just went outside.
Yeah, he said pause and he ran outside. Is he okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
So yeah, I once I got through it, I just kind of felt like, okay, if I can get through this, I can literally get through anything that's thrown at me at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like I said, I don't wish that on nobody. And if I can get through that, going to work ain't nothing.
Right.
Like that ain't nothing. But this right here, if I can get through that, I can literally get through literally anything you can throw at me. Is how I felt at that moment. And doing all that while consoling somebody who's unconsolable, right? It's just it just kind of gave me that sense of purpose.
So how was it you communicating this, with your ex-girlfriend at the time? How did y'all communicate?
I mean, it was well, like I said, it was kind of a shaky situation because we didn't know what really happened. We were told it was a suicide, but all the evidence led to something else. Right? I can't really get into that, but yeah, it kind of led to something else. So she was kind of like, she was angry, upset, hurt, sad, and grieving all in the same thing.
All over the place.
And all at the same time, I still got to go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, it kind of puts you in a tough spot, but you gotta be there when you're needed, because that's what shows your true character, right? So anybody can be there when it's good, when it's nice, when it's rainbows and sunshines, but when you can be there through the thick, you know what I'm saying? That's what shows your true character. And just being there for her when she needed somebody just to vent to, cry on, a shoulder to cry on, a place where she can feel safe. Like that, I felt like I was really just serving a higher purpose that moment.
Was that situation the lead to the demise of the relationship?
No, actually,
okay.
it was some other stuff.
Okay.
It was some other stuff that ain't have nothing to do with that. But that ain't have nothing to do with it.
I got you.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is invite you back for another interview.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing I learned earlier listening to you, because cops, one thing we do, we're good listeners, is that you said you had a lot of female friends.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, another episode, a different episode, I would like to discuss with you on from a male's perspective and giving advice to people about relationship.
Oh, I can do that.
Because you definitely have a lot of experience with hearing from other women's, their needs, wants, what are they looking for in a man, things of that nature. And you happen to be a man, but you have something that a lot of men don't. You have a large array of women that you facilitate and you're friends with. And you as a man hear some of the discussions that the men out there that are trying to date, they don't get. They ain't getting it. So hearing it from a brother like you may help some people out, So I would like to invite you back to have a discussion in that topic as well.
I'd definitely be down for that. I
Okay.
have a lot of insight in the subject.
All right.
You are watching at the end of the day. Subscribe.
Okay, we're back with Mr. Ace. And if you like what you're hearing, you like this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. So, Mr. Ace, people out there now, they know about you. They want to know how to get in contact with you. So if you could let the people know how they can get in contact with you.
Well, you can find me mainly on Instagram. So my main Instagram is Saber. That's SABER, like saber tooth. Saber_brand, like clothing brand. Saber_brand. You can reach me on there if you need any custom pieces made, if you need any wardrobe styling, anything like that. I still do a lot of styling work. And we also have a huge fashion show coming up. So May 23rd, it's a location. It's called Atlanta Utility Works. If you click the link in my bio, you'll be able to see that information for the fashion show. It's some of the best fashion you've ever seen in your life, but it's an immersive experience. So you'll be able to have all your senses heightened. So we have something for taste, something for touch, something for feel. Like something for any and everything, and it's also an elemental themed show. So it's the venue itself is half inside, half outside. So you have a bit of the atmosphere, a bit of the environment, all while seeing some amazing fashion pieces. So just follow me at Saber_brand. Click that link in my bio, and if you need to holler at me about anything, just send me a DM.
Appreciate it. Ace the Visionary. At the end of the day, this is Lieutenant Carroll. We'll see you later.
We put